So I got a new old sewing machine. So I was perusing Facebook Marketplace and we came across this Singer Model 348. I don't know anything about sewing machines, but I know things about colors. And this is blue, and it's a blue that I like. And so as soon as I saw this, I kind of freaked out. And I've been wanting to sew more. I've been wanting to get into sewing. I have a sewing machine. I love it. I love to use it. But it's there's something about these old machines that is just, one, iconic, two, inspiring. Something I say about guitars all the time is don't buy the guitar that someone tells you to buy or that the salesperson tells you to buy. Buy the guitar that inspires you to pick it up. And when I see this machine, this fills me with inspiration to use it. Now, I don't know anything about its history. I know that this is from either like 1967, 8, or 9, I think, is like the years that they were commonly manufactured. The book, if we look at the copyright date of this instruction manual, which it came with, pretty sick. In here, copyright 1967. So somewhere around there. But anyway, that's not what's important. What's important is it's all metal. It's gorgeous. It came with a table. I don't think I'll use the table. Tables just take up so much space, and I probably would use this area. I'm in my girlfriend's craft room, Hollyana. This is her pride and joy, and she's generous enough to let me use it today. Anyway, I don't know the history of this machine, how often it's been serviced. So today we're going to take it apart, and I'm going to service it. Basically, everything everyone says about these old machines is if it runs, which I've tested it, it runs. All you need to do really is apply oil where you're supposed to apply oil, which is in this manual. Add grease where grease needs to go, also in this manual. And clean it first. Just clean out all the dust, debris, fabric materials. Check if there's rust. That's a big one. I looked in the top of this and did not see rust, but I have not opened the bottom. And when I took it out of the case, I noticed some rust down here on this panel. So I'm a little scared about underneath, but in general, just excited. So we're gonna give this a whirl. I'm gonna see if this works. This is not an instructional video. This is an experience. This is a journey, because I cannot tell you what to do if I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and we're gonna jump into this. Oh, and look at this. This is it came with like, I have to assume this is the original cable because it's the exact same color as the machine. Has Singer on the foot switch. Super cool, really heavy foot switch, which is amazing. That's another thing about the one I currently use. The foot switch is super light, it runs away from you. This one's hefty. This is like a pound, which is very nice to have. And yeah, so super cute cable, super cute machine. The tray is still snug. That is something that I was worried about picking it up. And by picking it up, I mean getting it dropped off, because my car could not fit the table and the machine. Thank you, sir, that drove it here. I forgot your name, my apologies. Let's crack this open and see what we're working with. So the first thing I did when I got this was plug it in and use it, which probably isn't the first thing you should do. It's the first thing I did because I was excited. I wanted to know if it ran, and it did. Straight stitches were literally perfect from the get-go. As soon as I switched to zigzag, we had issues. We ran into some issues. It did not zig or zag when it should be. It was zigging when it should be zagging, you know what I'm saying? That was, you know, the first sign where I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop messing with this until I dig into it. And that could literally be an oil issue. That could just be too much friction once it gets going, because if I hand crank it, it zigzags very well. But as soon as I run the pedal, pick up speed a bit, it gets really tight. So I'm assuming it's just a friction issue. So we lift this. Something really cool about these machines is, I'll take this off too. At the top here, I'm gonna tip it over. This is a little wheel, and this is how you would change the pattern of your stitch. This is the zigzag insert. I think they're called like beauty wheels or fashion wheels, something like that. You just would take this out, you'd swap in the different disc, and you'd be good to go. All right, looking inside this, just like off the rip, this looks really good. Wow, this looks really Nice. I'm not seeing any rust, which is awesome. There's still grease on these gears here, so we know it wasn't running super dry. At least there, we don't know, it doesn't look like it's running dry. But the part where you oil, there's a couple spots up here and in here. So let's take a look. I think this just twists off. Nice. This is the beauty of these like old machines. You just can access everything instantly. All the parts are metal too, so if you hit something, it's not the end of the world. You might scratch your paint. That would be the end of the world. All right, so looking in here, it looks like someone cleaned this. There's no fuzz, you know, no fabric fuzz up in here. There's just, this does not feel oiled at all. But holy smokes, that looks good. Like you can still see age on the parts, you know, like this, I can feel that oxidization, I assume it is. It's like not quite rust, more like a patina, I would call it at this point. But oh my gosh, that's great. 1968-ish, and this is what we're looking at. The beauty of these machines is truly in like the simplicity. The fact that it does one stitch. You either have it really narrow, so it's a line, or you widen it with this here. This is your, where is it? Here it is. Stitch width. A line, zigzag. And literally, it's just a moving part. It's just pure metal doing what metal does, which is, you know, stay together, I guess. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna take a look at our manual. I picked up some Singer oil, all-purpose oil. Now, with these machines, some of them, like this one, you have oil and then you have lubricant. Oh no, my hand's empty. That's because I don't have it yet. It comes tomorrow. But you want to pay attention to where it says to oil versus where to apply lubricant, because the lubricant is typically like a grease of some kind, synthetic or natural. I don't know yet. I ordered a vintage appropriate grease online. It's what I will use, and I hope it will function. But for now, we're just gonna apply oil because it looks like there's still a lot of grease. Now, is it a little gummy, the grease? A little. I would honestly just don't think this machine was used a lot. If I really had to guess by looking at it. I've opened a lot of things in my life, and the things that have been used, it's kind of, there's signs. I'm not quite seeing the signs. All right, so we're gonna look at our manual here, and we're gonna jump to caring for your sewing machine. Pretty cool. Your sewing machine is a fine yet sturdy precision instrument, and it will serve you perfectly for many years if you take a few simple steps to keep it in good condition. How often you will need to clean, oil, and lubricate the machine will depend on how often you use it and where you keep it. The following general guidelines assume that you will be sewing 2 or 3 times a week. Goals, am I right? Or, if you keep it in a very warm or damp place, oil and lubricate it more frequently than the guideline suggests. Singer lubricant, as well as Singer oil, is available for purchase at your Singer center. I could not find a Singer lubricant. I'm not sure if that got phased out, if they stopped doing that. I was only able to find the Singer oil. I don't know. All right, so every week or so, remove lint and fluff from exposed parts. As a matter of fact, you'll be able to see the lint and fluff gathering on these parts, and we recommend that you remove them as they accumulate. Look at this. Got like a whole thing right there. That is sick. So yeah, in all the areas where it says to clean, I'm seeing like no lint at all. There's even down here, where this is where I typically see it, in the bobbin tray area, whatever that location is called. On my sewing machine, that's where it accumulates the fastest. I'm not seeing that at all. I have zero concerns with this level of dirt. But you know what? I'll grab a cloth since we have it open, and we'll give it a good rub down. So they have it notated where to put the oil. That's pretty slick. Okay. All right, every few months, lubricate parts under the arm cover. This is the arm cover. We need to lubricate those. That's not oil. It says right here, lubricate the parts under the arm cover, disconnect machine with, from electricity supply, yes. Remove screws A, lift, apply a drop of oil where indicated, apply a small amount of lubricant to the gears as shown, never apply oil to the gears. So there's holes on the top here. So this is where the screw goes on either side, but these ones here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you would just drop oil through that. So I'm gonna put it back in place for a second. Wait, I'm so confused. So I'm seeing something on the top plate where it says to apply oil. I'm noticing there's little plugs, probably hard to see, but there's these little plugs where that oil is supposed to go through. So you see how it has like these markings? The cover's still on and it's showing where the oil goes, and it's like those little holes right there. But it says lubricate under the arm cover. It says to remove screws and lift arm cover off. Then apply drops of oil where indicated. So am I just supposed to kind of use that as a guide? That's like the guide. But then I'm supposed to remember. Oh, I see where they are though. That makes sense. It would go into this, go into there, which probably connects to that. And then this one would drop into here. It's just interesting that there's those plugs, right? You would think that if they lined up perfectly, I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna put oil in this. Oh, it comes through. Wait, that's so cool. Oh, wait, that's sick. So it just slows it. I guess it's so that you can't apply too much. It would roll off the top of your machine. So I'm gonna let that seep through. So it's probably a little hard to see, but I added the oil there and it's already dripped through this hole. These two are a little slower. That one's empty now. And this one's going down too. Wait, that's so cool. I'm gonna move stuff around a bit. Now, it said to run the machine, which would probably be more efficient than what I'm doing right now. That is super sick. What a fun way to maintain your machine. All right, lubricate parts under the bottom cover. Be sure the machine is disconnected, yep. Tilt machine back and remove retaining nut from threaded stud. Being careful not to lose felt washer, and remove cover from underside of machine. Oil each of the places indicated by arrows. Avoid getting oil on any parts of the motor or hook driving belt. Replace bottom cover, felt washers, retaining nut, tighten. So you might be wondering, Josh, why do you want to sew? Well, there's quite a few reasons that I want to sew. One is it's cool. I think it's awesome to be able to repair stuff, and that extends to clothing. There's been so many things that in the past that I've probably thrown out that I really didn't need to, that if I had repaired them, I could have, worn or even donated or something. And there's just an insane amount of clothes in the world, and none of them, I don't really like any of them. And there's nothing, I don't mean on other people, just for me, I've never had a sense of style, as you've probably noticed, and it's because I've never seen something that spoke to me. And when I do see it, it's usually in a TV show or something. The secondary reason is, or probably the main reason, honestly, is just I'd love to be able to make clothes that are the clothes I imagine myself wearing, We're in these avatars for as long as we're on this planet, this orb of rock and water, and might as well have fun with how we dress said avatars, our bodies, our clothes. And that decision shouldn't be made by what's popular. It should be made by what you want to wear. You know what I mean? Nothing against what's popular. That's cool too. It's just not cool on me. I'm just really excited to delve into making clothes that I think speak to my interests. And I'm also excited to be able to patch things as they rip and do it in a fun way, you know? It's like, yeah, I could run a stitch between a straight tear. That wouldn't look cool. Then I see people do these really fancy fun patches that have like designs and stuff, and they put some other material under it and they cut it out. I don't even know what it's called, but it's cool. Yeah, so I'd love to have like repairs, patches that look fun. Again, that makes sense to me. All right, so here's the side I'm a little worried about. It says, be careful not to lose felt washer. That was lost a long time ago, apparently. And remove cover from underside of machine. Wait, that's not that bad. What the heck? Look at that. That's a bug. Kind of gross, but I've seen worse. Oh God, it's still alive. Oh, not anymore. I fully planned to bring it outside, but it startled me. Whoopsie. All right, let's see if there's any more bugs in here. Oh, I see why they call them stink bugs now. Yeah. Oh, that is a scent. Oh, it's my hand. Apple Caramel Crumble by Dove. And start working away at this gunk. It's just so crazy to me that they stopped making metal machines like this the norm. And I guess it makes sense from affordability. If someone wants to get into sewing, you know, they're like, oh, let's make a new machine that's a lot cheaper to manufacture so more people will buy it. But here's the thing. You can get a machine like this. I got this for $75. There was another one for $50 that I saw after. These machines are out there just waiting for someone to come get them. Now you don't get a lot of the fun extra stitches, right? You can find a machine that has hundreds of stitches. I think my Singer Patchwork has 100 built-in stitches, which that might be what you need. You know what I mean? That might be what you need, and that's okay too. But if you're just trying to get something together to do some, you know, simple work, something like this goes a long way. I keep expecting like a million bugs to run at me from like some hiding place now. Now I'm like expecting some scene from a horror movie to pop out at me. If I had an air compressor, that'd be nice to use. I feel like you could get the most of the gunk from the get-go by just blasting this with an air compressor. Look at all the dirt. All right, so where do we add oil? I'm right-handed, which makes my hand block everything that I do whenever I film, because if I filmed from the left, you wouldn't see anything because I have to have it angled for my right hand. Get out of there. The dirt can't hurt you. Now for the moment of truth. Will it run? Let's get put back together and find out. The moment of truth. Some fabric, of which I will cut some scrap. You'd be amazed at how bad I am with scissors. I have everything wired correctly. Okay. Success. Beautiful stitch. Beautiful, beautiful. Tension's looking right. We've got that. Let's try upping our stitch width. Yes. Oh, it's perfect. So this one that my thumbs are at, that's our straight line. This is our zigzag, and we kind of like increased the width as we went. Backside, both look phenomenal. Oh, I'm so happy. This is insane. Look how thick this is, because it just ate through. This is like so many layers. I just rolled it into a flat piece of, I don't know, fabric. I don't know what I'm trying to say. This is crazy is what I'm trying to say. This is 12 layers of that fabric. In the past, my machine would stutter on this. It would very much struggle. I don't even feel it. Nothing. That's crazy. All right, now for a real test. I have chosen one of my favorite pair of Ren Fair pants. That's in a color I don't like. I've taken it apart and I'm using that as my like rough guide for this pair of pants that hopefully will turn out okay. And we'll see if in the process of making these pants, this machine fails on us. All right, the sewing machine did it. We have a pair of pants. What I was going for, like kind of this wraparound style that I've seen online. These, I lost my audio here, but the calves are super tight. I messed up those. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to bind this belt to like kind of like lock it into place, if I'm going to use a button or not. But I like the overall lay. I think that if the calves weren't so tight, we'd be better. But anyway, next week's video will be me reattempting these pants and kind of explaining what I'm doing. Thank you for watching. Good evening, good night, good whatever time it is. Bye.